Okay, so I know some of you probably are saying, boy, that's annoying, that police scanner that's always going in the background. Well, that's pretty much a habit. I was a firefighter for 15 years, and I got in the habit of listening to the police scanner. The reason why is, often as not, if it was a car accident or a medical emergency where entry was needed, the police would get the call before we would. So if I was listening to the scanner, I'd hear the call, and I was already on my way when our tones come over the radio that we had an emergency. So I pay particular interest to calls from a neighboring community because there's an apartment complex there that when I was first married I lived in. Now, when I lived there was no police involvement because we pretty much handled business ourselves. A couple of examples. We had a guy upstairs that was a doctor from Argentina, a young guy. Well, the parking lot of the apartment complex where we lived was at a higher level than the apartments. So there was a set of steps down. So the area right in front of the steps was marked off with, tape stripes, painted stripes so that no one would park there. Well, this Argentine doctor felt that he was above that, so he would park his car there. Then the women would have to walk their kids down the hillside. The strollers and everything, and groceries, they're having to get on the hillside. So he did this about twice. And my buddy Jim from upstairs. Now, Jim drove a cement mixer, and he also raced stock cars, as a hobby. Jim says, I've had it with this. I'm going to do him tonight. So about 10 o'clock at night, when this Argentine doctor is already asleep, Jim goes up and takes a hunting knife and shivs all 4 of his tires on his car. So 2 weeks later, the guy's got 4 new tires. What does he do? He parks in the same spot. I'm just sitting there waiting. Jim goes up and shivs his 4 brand new tires. Then the guy had this affinity for playing this very loud guitar music in the middle of the night. So I go out in the hall one night, and I've had it. I'm going to go up and confront him. Well, I see Jim coming down the steps, and Jim says, I've had it with this shit. Let's get downstairs to the breaker box. So we get down to the breaker box, and we're looking at it. It's all marked. Apartment 2B, click, click. He's got not only no music, but no air conditioning, no fan, no nothing. He's got no power to his apartment. And Jim says, I wish we had a padlock to put on this. Well, I ran a service station then, and our employees were not exactly rocket scientists, so we would have matched keys for the 2 bay doors. When one of those locks broke, we would go out and have to get another match set because the employees were not about to take the time to figure out which key fit which lock. So I've got like 3 padlocks sitting upstairs that are loaners. So I come down and we put a padlock on the box so that the guy can't get in to reset them. So the guy calls maintenance, and they come out and they says, hey, man, there's nothing we can do till morning. There's a padlock on the box. So then we get a turkey that moves in right beside me in 1A who beats the hell out of his wife all the time. Now, at this time in my life, I'm running an inspection station. I'm spending my day lifting and lowering tires. Now, on the Cadillacs, a 920 by 15 and a brake drum weighed over 100 pounds, and I was just lifting these up and putting them back on. So I was pretty much built like a silverback gorilla. So this guy's beating the shit out of his little wife one night, and I says to my wife, I can't stand it anymore. Let's go out for a ride. So as we walk out the door, this asshole comes out of his apartment. So, without even thinking, I grab him by the shirt, I lift him up, and I throw him down the steps. Well, just about that time, the borough police show up and they say, we got a call here that a woman was being beaten. Well, his wife is split above and below her eye where he punched her eye. And I says, that would be the guy down there that beat her. And he says, what happened to him? And I says, he sort of fell down the steps. And the cop says, okay, fine. So when the ambulance came and took him out on a stretcher, because he went head first, the cops never said a word. I figured, gee, I might be going to jail on this one, but no. So this local community, this whole apartment complex has gone really bad. It makes up 5% of the population of this community. It makes up 60% of the police calls and 95% of the violent crime. So they get a call today to back up. They got 2 constables and a probation officer chasing a guy with felony warrants down the street. So the cop says, okay, I'm sitting at such and such. So about 2 minutes later, a call comes over. Radio, notify our chief and notify EMS. That guy just ran right into the path of my police cruiser. I mean, hell, it's 90 degrees and like 86% humidity. Why chase him on foot when you could hit him with your Crown Victoria? So then, about 2 minutes later, he calls over, radio, can you run this firearm for me? Springfield Armory, and he gives a serial number. And radio comes back on and says, that firearm's flagged. ATF wants notified. That was one of the ones stolen from that gun shop robbery. Well, we had a gun shop robbery in the Pittsburgh vicinity recently where a guy just walked into a gun shop, shot the guy on duty. There was only one guy on duty, which is really a bad idea in a gun shop. He just walked in, shot the guy, and stole as many guns as he could. So what I'm thinking is, I mean, I actually recognized when they put over the radio this felon's name, I recognized it because he's been involved in many calls out there. So I'm thinking right off the bat, the ATF's been involved. You're looking at 5 years on a felony conviction for a firearm because he's a convicted felon, plus the other counts on him. So that's why I listen to the police radio, because it's more, the police and the fire radio, because it's more or less pretty amusing at times. But I got a kick out of that. He ran right in the front of that cop's police car. But it's enjoyable. I know it's annoying. It's annoying in my videos to hear that in the background, but it's sometimes very enjoyable to listen to. Thank you.